Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session on innovation in media, managing media tech and misinformation, role tech companies play to enable this process. In today's session, we will discuss how technology is driving innovations in news media. I'm Arpan Chatterjee. I am with the Printers Mysore as digital business head and the publishers of Deccan Herald and Prajavani. Prior to this, I was with the Hindu group of publications with their digital initiatives. In today's session, we have a keynote from Shilpa Jhunjhunwala, followed by audience Q&A. Shilpa leads news and publishing products partnership for Google in South APAC, including India, Southeast Asia, and Australia. She's passionate about connecting news publishers with their online readers through world-class digital products. Prior to joining Google, Shilpa had held various leadership positions in the functions of business development, strategy, and sales at major broadcast media companies with regional mandates across APAC. Shilpa joins us today from Melbourne, Australia, where she is currently based. Hi, Shilpa. It's great to have you with us today, and over to you.
Thank you, Arpan. It's so lovely to be here today, and thanks so much for that kind introduction. I realize that all of you have been in sessions now for 2 days. This is the third day of an action-packed agenda, so I really appreciate you signing in to the session, and it's a privilege to be here today. So let me start off with my slides. Thank you. As Arpan mentioned, I have worked in traditional media for over 8 years before joining Google, and the topic of innovation in the media space and the role that technology can play in delivering content is very close to my heart. Today, I would like to talk to you about the role that Google plays in the evolution of the news industry, from the value that we provide through our products to the scaled programs that we have implemented to enable publishers move along further in their journey towards digital transformation. We realize that this is a really unique, challenging, and pivotal moment for the news industry in India. And there are several challenges, right? First, the news landscape is massive. The rapid internet penetration in India has given rise to a lot of opportunities, but it has also created a lot of digital novices. There was a Chartbeat report I read last year that said there's over 90,000 news articles that are published online every single day. And this number more than doubled during the pandemic. So in this kind of content landscape, it is challenging to ensure that our readers are reading the most accurate information. Second, as we all know, digital ad revenue just isn't growing fast enough to offset the decrease in print ad revenue. And this has only been worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic. And finally, it is very challenging for news organizations to keep pace with innovation in the technological space. This is both because technology keeps evolving, as well as the behaviors of the readers, of the new internet users, as well as digital natives keep changing. So how do we keep pace? Before I move into all the things that we are doing to try and support this evolution and try and address these challenges, I would like to take a step back and say, why do we care? Why, as Google, are we so invested in the success of the news industry? Well, first of all, this is critical to our mission. The mission of Google is to make the world's information useful and to organize the world's information. And news is a vital source of that information. Second, it makes good business sense. We invest in our products, such as search, YouTube, Google News, advertising, to help news publishers to succeed so that our users can have access to high quality information online. And last but not the least, this is central to our values. One of the things I personally love the most about Google is that we are a real values-driven company. And we believe deeply that information makes society stronger. We see the role of tech companies like Google as enablers in the process of evolution that the news industry is going through. And we support the industry in several different ways. First, we send traffic through our products. Google is built on Google Search, and through search, we send up to 24 billion visits to news websites globally every month. This enables your users to discover your content. We also support revenue through our products. Google's advertising platforms power many of your organization's digital advertising businesses, and we help publishers of all sizes make money online. We are also excited about products that are enabling newer forms of monetization, such as Subscribe with Google. We engage deeply with news publishers on product partnerships, and this is a team that I work in. We have committed recently $1 billion globally in a 3-year program called the News Showcase. It started in select markets, and we have ambitions to scale it globally. India was the second market in APAC where we launched News Showcase, and this has been a signal of our commitment to the country. And finally, Google News Initiative, or the GNI, and I will talk about this and the programs we run in some detail later. Through the GNI, we are able to launch and implement a range of programs to help create a long-term sustainable ecosystem. Programs are many, but one of the ones that I've loved the most and been personally involved in has been the Journalism Relief Fund. This is an emergency relief fund we launched when COVID hit. And with this, we were able to support over 5,000 local newsrooms at the time where they needed it the most. So let's look at each of these in a little bit more detail. First, these are some products through which we enable discovery. We send you traffic. At the core of it is Google Search and Google News, and we are constantly on a quest to enhance and improve these products so that we can better serve our users and publishers globally. While this is a constant effort, some of the recent improvements we've made is enhanced analytics in the Search console, especially for news websites, and changes to better recognize and reward original reporting. News is also central to YouTube's strategy. YouTube helps news organizations build viewership at scale by increasing distribution and reach through a whole host of news products. For example, when there is a major news event, users in those relevant markets can see a breaking news shelf on their homepage. This breaking news shelf highlights relevant videos from authoritative news sources. And finally, we understand that audio is a format that many of you are experimenting with. Google Podcasts and Google Assistant provide better discoverability for audio content to your users, and this is backed with enhanced analytics for publishers so that you can better measure the success of your audio content. Moving on to revenue, a lot of you might be familiar with the products listed here. We have a range of products, starting from Google Ad Manager to several others, where we empower several organizations of all sizes around the world to manage their digital businesses and monetize their audiences. Take Google Ad Manager, for instance. Thousands of news businesses use this to run their digital advertising business. Again, going back to the COVID pandemic, in order to provide direct and immediate financial assistance to news organizations during the worst of the crisis, we waived ad serving fees on Ad Manager for 5 months. This benefited over 700 news publishers worldwide at a very challenging time. Particularly in India, we have collaborated very closely with the Indian news industry to expand the languages that we support through our ad solutions. In addition to Hindi and English, we now have ad solutions for Bengali, Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Punjabi, and Urdu. Let's move on to product partnerships. In addition to the ways that we already partner with news providers through our products, this is an announcement in October 2020 we made about the News Showcase program. So what is Google News Showcase? It is a new product that features the editorial curation of trusted newsrooms to give readers more insights into the stories that matter. We pay our publishers to curate and create customizable spaces called panels that surface in our products. These panels provide a more immersive and trustworthy online news experience for the reader. And for you, the publishers, it puts the control of what you want to put in these panels in the hands of your editorial team. So your editors can provide readers with more context and more perspective on the stories that they think are most important. In this process, we hope to drive high-value traffic, engagement, and help you develop a deeper and more direct relationship with your readers. News Showcase builds on an existing news licensing program where we already pay publishers for efforts such as Subscribe with Google and Web Stories. A particular milestone for me and my team was when we launched News Showcase in India last month. This is a range of 30 partners that signed up with us at launch in Hindi and English. As you can see, this ranges from big national brands to prestigious local and regional ones like the Deccan Herald. We hope that in the coming months, we can expand this set of partners and languages in India. Now, in addition to the launch of News Showcase, we also announced a range of programs to support the entire news ecosystem through the Google News Initiative, or the GNI. So let me talk a little bit about that next. For those not familiar with the GNI, it was launched in 2018 in order to centralize and scale our efforts across the company so that we could together build a better future for news. We had been partnering with the news industry for nearly 2 decades. So the GNI was a culmination of all of that effort. In October 2020, we released an impact report that quantifies what GNI has delivered globally. I would really encourage you to go into our website and read that impact report, but here are some of the highlights. In Asia Pacific, the GNI has supported over 1,000 news partners, 250 of which are from India. We funded publishers in 32 countries across APAC and deployed $33 million. This money has been allocated across projects along our 3 key pillars. 1, to elevate quality journalism. 2nd, to evolve business models. 3rd, to empower newsrooms through technological innovation. We also place a lot of importance and focus on engaging the news community through forums such as this. We think it's important to support this and bring people together so that we can exchange ideas and best practices. Let's take a deeper look at what the GNI has delivered in India across our 3 key pillars. And this list it's not exhaustive. These are just some examples. First, in order to elevate quality journalism, we launched the GNI India Training Network in June 2018. This was done in partnership with Boom Live, Data Leads, and Internews. So far, this program has trained over 38,000 journalists across the country in 10 languages and involving more than 1,000 news organizations. In response to the COVID-19 crisis, as I mentioned, we supported organizations through the Journalism Emergency Relief Fund, and 228 of those applicants or grantees were from India. Now, as the COVID-19 vaccination effort ramps up, we are shifting our focus to tackling misinformation specifically related to COVID-19 vaccines. We funded the Quint on a project, and just recently we completed a project called VaxCheck, along with our GNI training partner, Data Leads. In a month-long activation, we conducted over 30 online workshops and reached 4,500 participants, all with the theme of detecting and tackling misinformation related to COVID-19 vaccines. Moving on to evolving business models, as the business of news continues to fundamentally evolve, we've designed programs and resources to address the business challenges that is at the core of this evolution. We've implemented comprehensive programs for digital transformation with many news publishers in India. We have also launched the GNI Growth Program, which some of you might be familiar with. The GNI Digital Growth Program was launched last fall, and we have already trained executives from over 120 Indian news organizations. I really encourage you to look at the link. I'll share it later, and I've personally learned a lot from it too. It's a series of resources that anyone can access, and it includes playbooks, workshops, tools, and interactive exercises. GNI has also been a focus for us for data labs and many other GNI labs. Labs are essentially cohort-based programs where we work with an independent consultant or an expert and a range of participating publishers over a period of a few weeks or even months. We do this to move the needle on one of the core issues, such as subscription, data, or audience. For example, with the GNI Data Labs, we saw outstanding results for Jagran, one of our publishers, who saw an increase of almost 300% in ad revenue during the 2019 Indian elections. This was done by using tools such as the News Consumer Insights, for which I'll share a link later. My colleague Sheena yesterday shared the early success that we have seen through the GNI subscription labs. Third, moving on to empowering newsrooms through technological innovation. One of the largest programs that we've launched under this initiative is the GNI Innovation Challenge, which we have launched in every region. Through the GNI Innovation Challenge, we encourage, it's an open call application, we encourage young innovative companies to apply towards a certain specific topic. We then choose certain recipients. We help them nurture their ideas and inject those ideas into the news ecosystem. In India alone, 16 media houses have been beneficiaries of this program. We continue to expand our effort in India under the GNI. As I mentioned, we announced several programs to enhance this in conjunction with the Google News Showcase launch. Firstly, we are adding to our journalist training efforts with increased on-the-ground resourcing. We are committing to training 50,000 journalists and students in the next 3 years. We have also expanded the GNI Digital Growth Program with the prime aim of helping small and medium-sized publications achieve financial sustainability. We're adding a series of business training workshops to be delivered virtually and for free for our Indian publishers. The themes of these will be product innovation, audience development, reader engagement, and they will add to our existing workshops, all of which can be found on our website. Secondly, we are really excited to announce the GNI Advertising Lab. This is a new program and we are inviting signups to this, and I'll share a link later. The program has been designed to include a large cohort of 800 small and mid-sized Indian news organizations, where we will take them through training sessions and help them with implementation support so that they can grow their digital ad revenue. I highly encourage all of you to sign up and express your interest. The GNI Transformation Lab is a more comprehensive program. It is for 20 small local and mid-sized Indian news organizations, and we'll work with them over a period of time to help them succeed online. So I know I've just thrown a lot of information at you, and I'm very happy to answer questions now or via LinkedIn at a later stage, but I did want to share with you some of the links. Sorry.
Thank you, Shilpa. That was very, very insightful.
Thank you, Arpan. I just wanted to end with just one thing and one more slide, if you don't mind. In addition to these links, there's just 3 requests that I'll leave you with. I know that we're in the process of a big evolution. It is challenging, but it's also an opportunity for us to work together to create a strong future for the news industry in India. So these are my requests for you. Please share your feedback. It matters to us, and oftentimes we've developed tools specifically based on your feedback. Please engage and participate when the programs that we are offering are right for you. And please keep up with what's happening. You can learn about our latest work on the Google News Initiative website and also via social media. So thank you. With that, I'll end, and Arpan, hand it over to you for questions.
Thank you, Shilpa. So, that was very insightful. Really appreciate all the details you gave us for the Google News initiatives. But I want to first ask you a question on the Google News Showcase that got launched in India last month.
Sure.
So what are the initial signs? What are the initial trends you're seeing on user engagement?
Yeah, thanks, Arpan. That's a good question. So for India, it's still fairly new, but we just released at the end of May, so last month, we released a blog post with some key metrics that we're seeing, and the initial results are very, very encouraging. On the panels in the news showcase, there's a follow button. So when a reader sees a panel from a publisher they like, they can click to follow that publisher. We have seen globally, and News Showcase is now live in about 12 countries. We've seen users click on these panels to follow publishers 460,000 times. When we did this audit at the end of March, it was only 200,000. So it's basically more than doubled in a month. We've also been tracking click-throughs to publishers' websites from the panel, because that's one of the intents that you drive traffic back to the publisher's website. And we are seeing on average globally 10 million clicks per month from these panels back to publishers' website. So yeah, the initial results are great, and we look forward to building on this product and iterating on it based on feedback from our Indian publishers.
Okay. So you spoke about building on the product. So what type of product roadmap that you envisage in the next 6-9 months?
Yeah, the product has been getting really wide and varied feedback from all our publishers, and we're very grateful for that. I can tell you some of the enhancements we've announced recently in the last couple of months. So one feature we've announced is called Extended Access. It's a feature in the product where we pay to unlock a certain number of articles. And the idea is that we drive users towards the subscription funnel of those publishers that have content behind the paywall. We've also expanded where the panels will surface. So we started only on mobile, but now they also surface on desktops. And I think, when I think about the future, what the product vision is and what product is really focusing on is we are getting some amazing content through Showcase. How do we expose it to a wide variety of audience, and how do we use this to build, drive traffic and subscribers back to our publishers? Supporting more formats, maybe through the panels, enabling more features for those publishers that want other forms of subscription. And these are all things that product is thinking about.
You did mention in your presentation about, the massive push on languages. So for GNS, do we see more Indian languages in the near future?
Yeah, currently Google News, the app supports 5 vernacular languages in India. So it's Marathi, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, and Tamil. So we definitely see these languages on the roadmap, and hopefully quite a fast follow. We're talking a couple of months, not a couple of years. And then there's always an ongoing dialogue with product to expand support for more languages, and very much top of mind.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about the monetization. There was a plethora of activities we saw under the Google News initiative, and one of them was the GNI Advertising Lab. Why don't you share a bit more? You spoke about targeting that to medium publishers and how to benefit them on the revenue generation.
Yeah. So Arpan, what it is it's a program where we will select, or it's a pretty wide eligibility criteria. Broadly, any news organization, whether it's a broadcaster, profit, non-for-profit, can express their interest and apply to the program. They need to be in operation for at least 12 months, and they need to have 100 or less full-time employees, because we do want to keep it to small and medium-sized businesses. Having said that, we're open to reviewing on a case-by-case basis. The idea is then this cohort will go through a series of training programs with an expert, with a partner, and we'll also run diagnostics on their CMSs with the idea of helping them improve their websites and their digital advertising capabilities. So excited about the program and look forward to hearing from and seeing interest from this group.
That sounds exciting. So, there's so much that, you're thinking about on the news side. So wanted to get a bit of insight about how Google and your team is thinking about how is digital tech is going to further, enhance the news dissemination in the next few years. How are you seeing that?
I think a lot of it is just continuing to build on the programs and iterate on the programs that we are introducing. There's 2 or 3 key roles I think we continue to play and should continue to play. First, misinformation. It will always be a big problem. So how do we get better at fact checking? How do we work with partners to combat misinformation online? I think the other big thing around dissemination of news is really being where the users are, and how can we help publishers be where their users are in the right language, in the right location, in the right format, and with the right topics. And then, finally, I also think that providing tools and data, actually helping publishers build their own data capabilities, as well as continuing to look at tools that we can provide journalists to enhance reporting and capability, like using AI, using the OCR technology that we have. How can we make it easier for journalists to report? Those would be some key things that I think we could do going forward as well.
Okay, so Shilpa, we have quite a few audience questions. And Naushad is asking, when do we see Google News Showcase in Malayalam?
I hope soon. I have been specifically told by product to not commit to timelines, but we are working on it, and hopefully you should definitely see it before the end of the year.
Okay. We have another question from Niharika, and she asks, how can analytics help in the process of promotion of a story?
Promotion of a particular story?
Particular story, yes.
I think the first, with analytics, personally, our role is, how do you even identify the stories that work, right? So I think once the story is out, seeing what kind of stories are resonating with your readers is one of the key things that we do. So for example, we have a tool called the Real-Time Content Insights, and that it does what it says it does. It provides the editorial newsroom with real-time insights on the stories that you're putting out. And this kind of analytics will then help you publish the stories that resonate most with your users.
So, we're getting a lot of questions on, this analytic bit. And, so is there a specific way you look at analytics when you look at the news media, and how do you derive results or help that analytic optimize the decision making that you and your product team does? A lot of questions are coming around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's many different tools, and I would say a few things around analytics. First, please go into the digital growth program and have a look at the section that we have on data. That is one of our core missions in terms of training, in terms of the playbooks and the workbooks that we are putting together, and will give you a really good sense of how to use our analytic tools. A few of the tools that I particularly really like around analytics. So one of the recent that I'd mentioned, one of the changes we've made to our Search Console, or additions, I would say, is now when you go to your Search Console, you can filter your report from traffic that is coming from the News tab. These kind of more granular reports will give you a better sense of how your content is doing and where your traffic is coming from. The 2 analytics tools that I've mentioned in the presentation, News Consumer Insights and Real-Time Content Insights, are really powerful tools. The News Consumer Insights specifically, I think, is very relevant to those publishers that are, thinking about their reader funnel. And you have a segment of your readers that are casual readers, but then as you go down to the funnel, it really helps you identify who your loyal readers are. It's very simple to plug into Google Analytics. So there's a lot of tools out there, and I think a good starting point would be the Digital Growth Program and their data section.
So we are just at the end of our time, Shilpa. That was, wonderful having a conversation with you. And again, thanks for that insightful presentation. Thank you, audience. And you can go back to the timeline to join the next session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Pleasure to be here.